This is probably the most difficult jazz cover I've ever made in my life. I got my gal who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more. In my latest video, I covered note for note John Pizzarelli's legendary I Got Rhythm performance that he made for the Fretboard Journal in 2012. Coming from the Gypsy Jazz world, this was quite a challenge for me. In this video, I wanted to tell you more about the reasons why I chose to spend countless hours working on this tune and the things I've learned in the process. My name is Julien Fary. I'm a professional French jazz guitar player and vocalist based in Paris. I started my journey in jazz guitar with Gypsy Jazz, and in particular with the study of Django style, about 10 years ago, doing lots of concert and jazz venues, but also gigging for private events. My experience is that as a live jazz guitarist, it's sometimes difficult to connect with the audience. That's why I decided to include more and more vocals in my performance to make it resonate more with the audience. But as you know, it's not really a part of Gypsy Jazz to have vocals. Plus, I've never been fully satisfied with singing over la pompe, the typical Gypsy Jazz rhythm. I've always found it a bit too rough for my style of singing, which is very smooth and cannot really stand out in Gypsy Jazz. So at the time I was looking for a new way to combine swing guitar and vocals, but I was not finding any good reference in the Gypsy Jazz world. That's when I started to look more thoroughly into John Pizzarelli's style and to type his name on YouTube. His version of I Got Rhythm came out and I was completely struck. I had never heard a swing performance like this, where someone was combining it all, vocals, scatting, single note solo, chord solo, all of this alone, making it look seamless. I found this very entertaining for jazz. Maybe too entertaining? I can remember perfectly the first time I tried to play I Got Rhythm. Of course, I would try to use the typical Gypsy Jazz chords I knew, and I thought, I've already played the I Got Rhythm many times. I know the tune. With some effort, that should do it. But it just didn't sound the same. Although I was already an experienced jazz guitar player, having played this tune many times, there was almost nothing in common between my Gypsy Jazz playing and John Pizzarelli's style. There were so many challenges for me in this performance. The single note solo, the chord solo, they were nowhere close to Django style and thus way out of my league. I understood that if I wanted to play like that, I simply had to relearn jazz guitar. As I love challenges, my goal was to make my version as close to the original as possible. Making a synchronized note-for-note cover is always a very demanding exercise, especially if you're doing it on camera, and of course, if you don't do editing. Over the past 10 years, I've made lots of transcriptions, in particular of Django Reinhardt's, but almost nothing I learned with Django would help me here. I had to entirely revamp my way of playing guitar, from the chord fingerings to my way of picking. I know it can take a long time to get the take. The specificity in this case is that I wanted to cover the entire performance, including chords, vocals and scatting, not only the guitar solo. All in all, it's a 2-minute performance, which makes it very difficult to make perfect in one take. And Pizzarelli plays at such a fast tempo that each take would physically tire me, especially due to the scatting, which is incredibly difficult to articulate at this speed. I'll probably make another video about scatting and playing at the same time. All in all, there are about 18 months between the moment I first heard Pizzarelli's performance and the moment I could cover it correctly. Of course, I didn't work on it all the time and it was on and off. I had made several attempts to record I Got Rhythm on camera in the past, just to realize that I was not ready yet. There was always something I was doing wrong or differently, showing that I needed to practice more. That's the main positive thing about recording a live transcription. It's ruthless, and it highlights all the things you have to practice. And once you do, there are good chances you won't need to work on them again. Especially if it's not just a one-shot cover and you work on it over a long period of time. The key here is to be patient and to work on your transcription slowly, note by note. I've waited 1.5 years before being really satisfied with my performance. I'd be interested in having your experience too. Have you ever recorded a note-for-note cover of a jazz performance? What were the pros and cons for you? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you for watching.